Hello, Karen with Big Cartel support team. I am back to walk you through the automatic shipping setup that's available for US sellers on Big Cartel. We have got a different walkthrough for the manual shipping setup, and that is linked below. So if you want to manually calculate and add your shipping rates to your admin, you will want to click that other video link instead. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to hop over to the admin, since that is where the shipping setup exists. We are here on the dashboard, but I need to get to the shipping section. So I'm going to click shop settings right here, and we'll click shipping just below communications. And this is the shipping section. Now, I have not added shipping yet, and you will also see if you have a new account and you have also not added shipping yet. The default is the manual setup right here, and that just means that I am manually going to calculate and add my shipping rates to my shop. But I want to use the automatic shipping setup, so I will click change method. And as we can see, we've got it set to manual. I'm going to click calculate for me and save my change. There we go. And now we've saved the change, and we are now using automatic rates, as we can see here. As it states, we will get rates auto-calculated by USPS. This method is best if you want the most accurate rates in real time. Now, a heads up before we really dig in. The method for automatic shipping is USPS Ground Advantage. So keep that in mind. There is not a way to switch to first class or flat rate or go with any other shipping method. These rates are always going to be for Ground Advantage. So if you find that you get better rates using maybe flat rate or first class, you might want to use the manual setup instead. Just a heads up there. So let's move along. First up, we've got shipping origin. I have already added my address to my account, so it's already listed here. If you have not, you're going to be prompted to add your origin. This is just where you ship from. After you've added that, you're going to move on to the shipping destination section right here. We can see the option for both domestic and international. The default for domestic locations is the whole of the United States. So if I leave this as is, then my shop will accept orders for any US address. And the checkout page will calculate accordingly using USPS Ground Advantage rates, like I mentioned. But maybe mine is a new business and I want to start really small. Maybe I only want to ship to customers in my region. So what I will do is click Add Destinations. I'm going to click this drop down here. Now I can either search by state or by region, or I can just click the drop down to see them all listed here. So I'm going to uncheck the US. I'm in the Pacific West. So I'll just click the Pacific West and we can see that is included in my selected regions. Maybe I only want to offer to my own state. I can click this drop down and I can uncheck maybe California and Oregon and only do Washington. So I can do that as well. But I'm going to leave it as the Pacific West, and I'll close out of these drop downs and I will click save. Now I can change that down the road, so I am not stuck forever only shipping to the Pacific West. So don't panic if you just, change your mind down the road. I can definitely come back here and change my shipping destinations however I see fit. So don't feel like you have to start really big. You can ship just within your own state if you want to start out that way, and then you can expand as your business grows. All right, let's move on to international. By default, everywhere is the default setting. Everywhere is the whole planet though, and the planet is really big. So I personally am going to start small with international shipping. And again, I can always expand this as well later on. So I will click Add Destinations. I'm going to click that drop down. I'm going to uncheck everywhere. And I think I'm just going to start with my closest neighbors, Canada and Mexico. Okay, again, we can see that is included in the selected regions. So I will close that and I will save my changes. Again, I can expand further south and overseas if I'd like as my business grows. All right, next up, we have got the parcel templates. As it states, we use these parcel templates to determine shipping costs. No need to adjust anything here if our default works for you. Add your own parcel templates if you know your specific shipping boxes already. So if these dimensions work with your product line and packaging, you can totally leave them intact. Or if some work but not others, you can mix and match. Maybe I use this envelope and I have 2 boxes, not 3. maybe the small and the medium, or the medium and another size. It's no problem. I can adjust that. I can just delete the templates I'm not using. Now, you don't have to delete the templates if you don't want. As long as you don't assign them to any of your products, they're not going to get used anyway. But I don't want to get confused looking at templates I'm never going to use. So I'll just go ahead and delete them. Delete that small. And excuse me, the extra small and the small. And maybe I want to give my parcel templates a specific name. Maybe I have this medium size as one of my actual boxes, but I want to name it something specific. Let's just delete it and then re-add it with a different name. Let's name it apparel, because I sell a lot of apparel, we're going to say, like sweatshirts, t-shirts. We're going to just re-add that box size in there. And once we save it, we can see there it is. Now it's titled apparel. And I'm going to create another template called oversized. We're going to use that for big sweatshirts and a combination of other stuff like sweatshirts and t-shirts, or sweatshirts and tote bags. We'll save that. All right, here we go. We've got my envelope for items that I can fold flat, like aprons and tote bags, and then my 2 boxes for t-shirts and sweatshirts and a combination of the 2. All right, next up, we have got fallback rates. Okay, you're going to want to add fallback rates just in case the lights go out, because that's really the only time they're going to be used. Like if USPS is suddenly down, we're going to use your fallback rates to make sure you're at least charging shipping on your orders. They are not automatic rates, so you do need to calculate and manually set those rates here. So we're going to pretend I've done some calculations, and domestic is about $10 for me, and international shipping is about $20. So we'll add that and save it here. There we go. Now I've got my fallback rates right here. So no matter what, I am going to charge shipping on orders, even if Big Cartel cannot get real-time rates from USPS. I'm covered there. Lastly, we have got surcharges here. You can add a surcharge if you want to charge customers an additional fee over and above shipping. Like maybe you pay for custom boxes and envelopes, but you don't roll those into the price of your products. You can just add that as a surcharge. Or if you've got a longer drive to the post office, you can add a surcharge for gas and your time driving. Just whatever is really over and above your shipping costs, you can add that as a surcharge. I'm not going to add a surcharge because I live right by the post office, and we're going to say I roll the price of my packaging into my product pricing. So I'm going to skip that. But I've added my shipping regions and my parcel templates. Now I need to go into my products and assign the appropriate parcel template. Otherwise, the system is not going to know which products will ship in which package. So to do that, I will hop over to the product section right here in the left navigation, the one with the little tag icon, and we'll click into a product. And we are going to click into the shipping section down here. We're going to notice this yellow message stating that I need to add this product's weight, which is needed to calculate shipping. Now, I did not weigh a sweatshirt, but I did Google it, and the average weight of an adult hoodie or crew neck is 12 to 16 ounces. So plus the actual packaging, because you do want to include the weight of your packaging, whether it's bubble wrap in a box or a mailer, or you use tissue or you use crinkle paper, whatever it is, you will want to include that in your weight to make sure you're covering your costs. So we're going to say that the sweatshirt plus the packaging is 32 ounces. So we'll put that right there. Now, when I add that weight, we see this new checkbox shows up. Apply weight value to all variants. If your weight applies to all variants, you're just going to leave that checked and scroll down and click save, and you're done. But if your variants have a different weight, that checkbox is handy. So I have this particular sweatshirt in sizes ranging from an XS to an XL. Okay, so there is going to be some weight difference there. And since your customers are charged by weight, which means you will be charged by weight because you're taking the shipping costs that they are charged to actually pay for shipping, you do want to get this really dialed in. So I could set my extra smalls to one weight, maybe my extra smalls and smalls to one weight, and then the mediums and larges to another weight, and then the extra large to another weight. Basically, you can ship them all to a different weight if it applies. So you will want to keep that in mind while you're setting up your product weights, just to make sure they're accurate, since you will actually be you will end up paying for shipping after the customer is is charged for it on the checkout page. And you can change this right here from ounces. You can change it to grams or kilograms or pounds if you need, whatever works best for your product line. Again, I'm using estimates here, but ideally you will want to be right on the mark with your product weights, since that is how customers are going to be charged shipping. So if you're under, you're going to have to cover the shortfall when you actually go to ship the item. If you're over, you're going to charge your customers a little too much for shipping. Now, if you don't have really big products, you can just get a kitchen scale and weigh your products that way. If you do have bigger products, you can just pull your scale out of the bathroom and weigh your products with your bathroom scale. So I have added this product weight here, 32 ounces. Next up, I need to assign my individual variants the correct parcel template. So I will click Edit Variants right here. And I'm going to click into the extra small. Now, maybe I did select that, yeah, it's all the same across the variants, but after weighing my product, I'm like, actually, my extra small is a bit smaller. I can just manually change the weight. Totally no big deal. You can change it while you're in here. Now I need to select a package size. So we're going to go with apparel here. And we can see this box right here. This variant must ship alone. You only want to check this box if the variant must ship alone. So for example, and this isn't going to be the greatest example because you can technically ship other things in a poster tube, but if it's a poster in a tube, you know, this one particular variant is a poster in a tube or includes a poster in a tube, you would want to select that because, I mean, you could technically roll up a t-shirt and shove it in a tube, but that's not usually the case. It's a poster in a tube. So you would actually want to select that. And then the checkout page is going to calculate orders for this particular variant accordingly. Everything in the customer's cart, except this size, the extra small sweatshirt, is going to be shoved into a tube. This is going to be shipped separately. Everything else can be combined. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. I'm not going to check this box because I can fit this extra small with aprons and, you know, other size sweatshirts and t-shirts and whatnot. But if your particular variant does need to ship alone, you will want to actually click that. So I'm going to save my changes here and we can see my weight is different. I adjusted it to 28 ounces and I assigned it the apparel template. Now you will want to go into all of your products and you will want to select their variant according, adjust their weight accordingly. We're going to say that 32 ounce fits for both the medium and the large, but we still need to assign a parcel template here and save the change. And let's go into the extra large. We'll say that's 36 ounces, but it can still fit in the standard box size. Same with the XXL. And we'll save that. All right, and now we can see they all have their individual weights and they are all assigned a parcel template. So we'll go out and we'll save those changes. But what if I'm getting requests from my customers for larger sizes and I've added them to my product line? No problem. What I can do here is I can just click Edit Variants. I can click Manage Variant Groups, and here I can add my new sizes. We'll save changes. Okay, now right here we can see the new sizes. However, I need to adjust their weight. We'll say that's 38, and these are going to be in the oversize because they've got more fabric. And we'll change that to 38. And you can always come back and change it too, like I've done. There we go. We've got 38 ounces for these two sizes, and they are going to be in the oversize template. So we'll go back out and we will save all those changes. And that's it. That's how you assign your parcel templates and give them the weight to your existing products. Now let's go ahead and click into my apron here, just for one more example. We can see there are no variants. This is going to be faster, obviously, because there are no variants to take into consideration. We'll say that my apron is 13 ounces. Okay. We're going to give it the envelope template because I can fold it pretty flat, and then I'm going to save it. And that's it. Doesn't need to ship alone. I don't need to worry about that. So we'll go ahead and go into the tote bag too. We'll say that the tote bag is, 20 ounces. It also does not need to ship alone because I can flatten it and put it in an envelope. So we'll go ahead and save that as well. Super easy. Now, when you finish that, your shop will charge shipping based on USPS real times real-time rates for Ground Advantage. And you can check that on your end, which is actually a really good idea to test that, not only so you can see how it works, but also so you can make sure that you have assigned your templates and weights correctly. Because if you've accidentally set something like an apron to pounds instead of ounces, that's going to be pretty obvious when you're testing the checkout. Or if you haven't assigned your product to the smallest parcel template that your product will fit into, that's going to be obvious too. You definitely don't want to be assigning parcel templates that are bigger than necessary, because USPS will always charge more for larger parcel templates. So always go with the smallest parcel template that your product can fit in. So I'm going to head over to my storefront and we're going to test that now. We'll just click View Your Shop here in the left navigation. And here we are. I'm going to add both a sweatshirt. Oh, I did color, not size there. Look at that. Add that to my cart. You find so many little errors when you're testing. And we're going to add that apron. Here we go. We're going to click to check out. And then we're going to enter some test info just so we can see how shipping is handled. Okay. Ooh, spell that right. All right, now before I click next, okay, what we notice here, shipping has not been calculated. It's basically pending, okay? But if I click next, then we're going to see the current rates based on my settings and USPS Ground Advantage rates. And here we go. Based on my weights and parcel templates, this sweatshirt and apron is going to cost $10 to ship right there. And that's going to update if the buyer changes their cart contents, which we all do. I often change cart contents, so you don't have to worry about that. So maybe I meant to add a larger sweatshirt. No big deal. I can go back to the cart. I can remove that medium, and let's add a larger size. Click to check out. There we go. And we can see that shipping has gone up based on that larger template size and the weight of the product. It's now $10.45 instead. Now, side note here, if you do add your shipping region and create custom parcel templates and do everything on the shipping page except the fallback rates, you might not end up charging shipping. And there are two scenarios for that. The first is if there's an actual issue on USPS's end and we're not getting any rates, then you don't have fallback rates to apply. Your buyers will actually get free shipping. So you definitely want to add your fallback rates. The second is if you don't go into each of your products and you actually assign a parcel template and weight, then that product will not have shipping added to it on the checkout page because you haven't added your fallback rate. So be very thorough in going through all of your individual product listings to make sure you take care of it and add your fallback rates just to play it extra safe. But that's it. That's how the automatic shipping setup works. If you have any questions at all as you're setting this up on your end, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are always happy to help. You can email us at support@bigcartel.com. If you are logged into your admin, you can click Get Help in the left navigation. You could reach out to us that way. And always check out our help site. There is a ton of helpful information and examples on there as well. Thanks for watching.